On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We have some major stuff going on right now, and it looks that something huge is going to be happening in the next 24, 48 hours, if that. I don't think it's happened yet. There's been a couple attacks as I was pulling data this morning, but I don't think what we've been alluded to or what intel I'm going to be bringing forward for you, I don't think it's happened yet. But I would honestly say the way it sounds like within 24, 48 hours, something major is going to happen. Sounds like Israel's going to be behind it. We're going to be defensive posture, but we are, I think, going to be helping kind of from the intelligence side of things. A lot to talk about when it comes to Iran, plus a whole lot of other stuff. We've got some major breaking news that's happening with China and finding out that they did, in fact, and we have proof of it. Kash Patel's let us know they did cheat in our 2020 election majorly. We're going to get into the details of that. Plus, got some other stuff here. Got some great video too of John Fetterman being surprisingly awesome, pissing off his base. I'm telling you, we've got a lot to go into, and I don't want to waste any time. So let's get into it. Let's rock and roll, baby. I wanted to start with this video because it's freaking funny as hell. And so I thought that was kind of a perfect place to start.
It's the same old theme.
Well, funny's the wrong word. Let's call it that way. This dude's like Superman. That's what I mean. It's just crazy.
It's the same old theme since 1916. Eeyore-head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. Eeyore-head, they are dying. What's in your head?
Yeah, that is just crazy. And as far as the people watching on YouTube, I apologize probably. I don't know how YouTube's going to respond to that. I know they're not going to like it, but they might not necessarily make me take it out. We'll see. If you didn't get to see that cool video, that's because they didn't want me to show it. This, at first, you see the picture there? At first, what do you think? First thing I thought was, fuck, they went nuclear. Seriously. Did you think that? Looks like a nuclear cloud, almost, like the mushroom parts way above the picture. It's bad, but not quite that bad, thank God. This here is a volcano erupting. And holy crap, right? Holy crap is all I can say. Indonesia's Mount Luatobi. Wow. Oops, yeah, so big time. Major stuff going on there. This is really messed up, and I'm going to do a small joke, only because it's ironic, I guess. Gunfire, hammer attacks at European migrant camp left 2 dead. These 2 were trying to cross the English Channel illegally. They have been shot dead at a makeshift migrant camp, along with 5 others who were wounded in attacks. The migrants, both Sudanese nationals, were killed on June 14th at a migrant camp near French city of Dunkirk. A lot of rising tensions were happening. Apparently, these guys were stabbing someone. I want to say there was a hammer attack. Yeah, they went attacking individuals in there with hammers, which, again, not funny, but kind of like, you know, you made guns illegal in Europe. You make all these other things illegal in Europe. Well, just make hammers illegal. Then problem solved. Nobody can ever kill each other. If you make rocks illegal, make knives illegal, make hammers illegal, make forks illegal, make pens and pencils illegal. How about nail clippers? You got that little thing in there. Make these illegal too, because then nothing bad will ever happen, or at least they'll just choke people with their friggin' hands. It's just a thinking process that somehow it's the weapons the problem. No. And if I get rid of all the weapons, we won't have any more killing. No, that's definitely not how it works. I've got to talk about these guys. So I got to see my good friend Laura. She's a cop, and she's a wonderful lady. She works at the Starbucks, too, for part-time work. Because, you know, cops don't make that much money, I guess. But she told me she's been using the collagen. Okay, I gave her a box of this. I think I told you guys I did that. My girlfriend's been crazy on this stuff lately. Oops, there we go. Get the glare off it. She's doing double. She's doing 2 of these a day. Loves it. Not 2 boxes. That would be insane. We'd probably have to talk to her about that. First off, I don't think I could afford her if that was the case. But this product is incredible. It's collagen peptide. This is amazing for your skin, your joints, your hair, your nails. Here's what she told me. First off, she had some people that were commenting on her skin. They're like, your skin looks so radiant. What is going on? And she was kind of taken aback a little bit by it. Flattered, of course, too. You know, it's kind of hard when someone's like, damn, girl, you look good. And you're just like, fuck yeah, dude, you know. It's hard to do that, right? So you try to play it down a little bit. She's been noticing with her joints as well. She's been going through a lot of rebuilding, if you will. Had a very injured shoulder from a lot of the gear she was carrying. She was carrying kind of an abnormal amount on one side, and she was also always lifting her laptop from that side as well, or all of her gear bag or whatever. So she's noticing huge differences in, one, the joints. She's feeling way better. She's also using STEM Active. And she's also noticing a huge difference with her skin and with her joints. And that's what's going on with the collagen peptides. This stuff down here is incredible. Amaze. You want to get this. You want to go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Also learned if you go to it on a phone, which I don't ever look at it on a phone, you won't see the shop stuff. There's a little 3 lines thing over there. If you click on the 3 lines, that's where it'll pop up shop and products and all that junk. So just in case you didn't know. But the Amaze product, huge. You're going to love it. Also, STEM Active heals your body. Helps your healing process tremendously. It gives your body a chance to create more of its own stem cells. You're not putting stem cells into yourself, right? Those comes from fetal cells typically, and they're also extraordinarily expensive. I think over $1,000 a shot or something like that. Makes a big difference, by the way. People have talked about all sorts of crazy stuff from them, but it's pretty disgusting. This enhances your own body's ability to make stem cells. As we get older, we're making fewer and fewer. This enhances it by 25 to 40%. Boom. Within 5-10 minutes, like very quickly. It helps you heal. Stem cells, for those who don't know, they're cells that can become any other cell in the body. So they're kind of like, androgynous cells, if you will, running around all confused, not sure what they are, until there's a need. The heart's yelling, hey, heart needs help, and stem cells go running and become heart cells and help repair the heart, or lung cells and help repair the lung, or liver cells and help repair the liver, which almost is one of the better ones to talk about because the liver you could literally cut out a bunch of your liver and it'll grow back. It's one of the few organs that'll actually do that. Skin does too, but so powerful to keep your stem cells activated. That's exactly what STEM Active does. You're having any sort of problems at all, even swelling, arthritis, stuff like that, that's actually a healing problem. You've got a little bit of it going on in that regard. Help your body, help you. And also with the collagen too, if you've got joint issues, you'll be surprised how good these products work. They've got a gel and they've got the pills. Some say the pills are kind of big. I don't know. I don't think they're that big. They're kind of your standard gel cap size pills. Not overly big, not overly small, just, your general regular size. The gel is it's a liquid. I think it's actually a little bit cheaper. So it might be something you want to consider. Balance for you ladies that are going through that crazy time. What we're finding from the ladies that have done this, one, it's not putting any hormones into you. That's awesome. But two, it's actually helping you balance your own body. Your body's got a lot of complex stuff going on. There's 14 potent plant-based ingredients. They're balancing, they're restoring energy, they're uplifting your moods, they're enhancing your sleep and your relationships. Because sometimes, let's admit it, sometimes we might get a little grumpy when we're just feeling all sorts of crazy, right? And it's not your fault. Your body's all weird and wiggity-whack, as one would say. So sometimes it's easier for those around you, too. It's a powerful product. I've heard raves from all sorts of people about it. It's a transdermal lotion. You literally put a little bit on your wrist. You rub your wrists together. It's because there's a lot of blood flow through here. It's just an easy place to do it. Boom, you're done. You do that once a day, you're set. And this product, from what we're hearing, tends to last 2 to 3 months, depending how you use it. It's not like most of our other products that are literally baked in like 1 month. 1 month, you're going to be out of product. This, it's up to you. You want to use a bunch, you want to use a little. If it's not feel like it's not quite working, then maybe try a little more. If it feels like it's working great, keep doing what you're doing. And if that's just a little dab will do you, then dab away, right? Again, we've talked about the collagen. Prime's one of my favorite products. It helps with energy. Love it. Made sure I took it this morning before I went to the gym. Made a big difference. I was just on the treadmill, but I stopped drinking for a short period of time, I'm sure. But I think the last drink I had was Saturday night. And I'm like, 3 days totally sober. I'm not even doing herbal remedies right now, and I'm feeling freaking awesome. I literally lost about 8 pounds. A lot of it was just, I think, bulk, and I drank heavily on Saturday. I partied really, really hard with my friends, and I felt really disgusting the next day. Kind of led into it. But the Prime is helping, the collagen peptides helping, the stem active is helping. All of this stuff is helping just kind of get me back into perfect form, if you will. And I'm damn close. I got probably 5 more pounds, and I'll be able to see my washboard a little bit again. So very close. Probably trying to lose a little weight too before I go to Texas, just in case anyone sees me. I don't want to be a big fat slob when I end up out there. So this is another powerful product that gives you energy when maybe you're not eating quite the way you should be, or some other things. It helps expand your blood vessels, just literally gives you more energy. It's a very powerful product. And Stem Active for pets. Your pets need healing too. Pets have arthritis. They may have some weird skin growths. They might have had a surgery recently. A lot of possibilities can happen. This enhances your pet's ability to heal as well. Very powerful products. It's also significantly less expensive than, it's about half price even probably, to what you would pay for the human version of stem cell, which I equally recommend. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Hit the shop tab and go shopping away. Now, I will say there's a couple ways that you can consider how you shop. Most people tend to become a customer. Personally, I love that. I get a nice commission off that, and you help the channel, and I appreciate it, and you're getting awesome products, so I feel like that's a fair transition or fair return. But if you become an executive member, and the reason I skip become a member is because you got to pay $10 a month to become a member. You don't have to buy anything, but why would you want to be a member and not buy something, right? So what's the difference between it and an executive member? Executive member, when you choose to do this, you got to buy something. But the key is there's all these different choices of things to buy. You want to get one Stem Active? Cool. You want to get 2 of these? They've probably got them put together. Also got other packages that they've got put together where you might get free shipping for the lifetime of your account. There's some really cool perks that they offer, and you're not paying extra money. And here's the kicker. You actually get the best pricing with this because you're not giving the extra money to me. You're keeping it. It's your own membership. So it's a very powerful way to create. One, you're going to get your own link, just like I have, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Yours is going to be yourthing.healthyhome.com, right? And you choose that when you do it. And then you can talk to friends if you want, but if not, you're getting the best price on the products. Personally, I think that's the way to go. You're saving money big time. I mean, again, I become a customer. It helps me a lot. I appreciate that. But me trying to help you, become an executive member. Buy the product through that. Get the discount. Find a cool package where you're going to get like free shipping or something that really matters to you, and you're on your way. Great products. And then, of course, the shop tab is what you want to do. So, again, I highly recommend it. I love these products. I can't get enough of them, frankly. I make sure I take them every day. And there's very few things that I've actually stayed on this long and really, really appreciated the results. So go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. All right, here's Kash Patel talking about what we know about China and the elections.
Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of...
Damn it, I keep talking about things. I hate cutting it off, but it's better than playing the whole thing and just looking even extra stupid. This is not about China. This was, maybe if I would have paid attention. Yeah, because China's over here. My bad. This has to do with the copycats, with killing, or the 86-47 that Corny did. Corny is the fake word. What is it? Comey, right? Comey. Good Lord. I'm having issues, and I'm sober. What the hell's wrong with me? That's probably it right there. Anyway, here's him talking about how much trouble Comey has caused him.
Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of that beachside venture from the former director?
Is that right?
Do you know how many agents I've had to take offline from chasing down child sex predators, fentanyl traffickers, terrorists? Because everywhere across this country, people are popping up on social media and think that a threat to the life of the President of the United States is a joke and they can do it because he did it? That's what I'm having to deal with every single day. And that's what I'm having to pull my agents and analysts off because he thought it was funny to go out there and make a political statement. Do you know?
Well, he's actually a dick is what he is. But yes, needless to say, we've had our second arrest. Emily Gabriella Sommer, a 32-year-old D.C. woman. God, man, I'm all confused on my stories here today. I'm talking about stuff I actually have, but I'm certainly talking about them out of order, so I'll just try my best today. I don't know what my problem is. I did take a small little break in between researching all this. I think it's part of my problem. All said. So the lady that spit on Ed Martin, right? You guys remember that, I think. She's crazy. She had her dog with her, and she talked about how horrible she was. Well, apparently, they let her out of jail, which we expected they would. I think she's still got a hearing coming up. But what she's also now done is apparently she went banging on a neighbor's door with a crowbar and apparently started threatening them. Cops were called. Cops are now like, we might want to have her checked for chronic mental disorders. So before her hearing, she's going to spend some time talking to some shrinks, and we'll see if this lady should be out and about. Now, again, this is what you expect from the ultra-liberals on the left, man. They are, in most cases, mental. They are messed up mentally. I mean, these are the ones that need emotional support animals and things like that, right? And again, if you've got an emotional support animal, I'm not necessarily attacking you, but again, generally we find these types of behaviors more on the side of the fence where you've got blue and pink hair and stuff, you know, that nose, that ring in the nose and all that kind of crap. So whatever the case is, messed up. All right, as far as rioting and all this crazy stuff, got a couple bad stories for Los Angeles in general. The Los Angeles mob, they broke into and looted an AutoZone store for the third time. The same store continues to get looted. Yeah, so large mob was seen looting it. To me, strange thing to loot. I don't know. I guess if you need auto parts, maybe. But like, I could think of a whole bunch of other places I would rather loot than AutoZone. Get it, the zone, AutoZone, right? Like, I don't know, whatever. I can't even imagine, but it's happening, right? It's happening. People just crazy stuff here in California. That's obviously going to be a problem too for the state getting extra money. We're going to talk about that in a second. Los Angeles looters also stealing iPhones, and they're finding out that they get disabled by Apple's anti-theft technology. In fact, they've got this weird kill switch, and when you take it outside of the Wi-Fi area of the Apple store, it then basically starts making an alarm sound, and it says, please return to Apple Tower Theater. This device has been disabled and is being tracked. Local authorities will be alerted. So they're instantly getting rid of these phones. Check this out. This is kind of a trip. I don't know if I'll play all of this, but you'll at least get the feeling of it. Well, apparently the cops did show up. And, you know, I guess it's cool. The phones don't look damaged. I'm kind of almost surprised that people didn't damage them just because, but at least they put them down. Or they caught the people that had them and they're just lining them up prettily. Prettily? That's not a word. Doesn't matter. I'm going to make up more words later. You watch. So, yeah, interesting story how that's playing out. Trump reverses ICE exemption for farms, hotels, and meat packers. We literally just talked about this yesterday. He's already back down on this. Now, really interesting story that we have in regards to this is this. ICE raid at Omaha food plant results in dozens of arrests, right? So they arrested dozens of people. I think 76 individuals were taken into custody, right, on the June 10th raid. What's funny, the owner or whatever, manager of this facility is like, dude, this really sucks. Man, I don't know what my business is going to do now that we've got this huge number of openings. What am I going to do? Literally, within 2 days, the company's waiting room was filled with legal workers, eager to apply for the jobs needed to be filled. They're doing jobs that nobody wants to do. Bullshit. That's not the case in most cases. Now, maybe with the farming stuff, right? With agriculture, maybe. I mean, again, I grew up in this area. We used to get a lot of the yearly people. They would come in seasonally. The big thing we had growing up in my area before they totally changed it and built everything over where all the farmland was strawberries. We had a crap ton of strawberries here. So what was funny is I worked at a couple places where you would run into people that were here working. And they usually just wanted to get some beer or something like that. Not that I'm making any bad remarks, but it was funny is a lot of times they'd pay me with money that was stained with like strawberry juice and stuff. So it was just kind of funny. You could always tell who was coming from the strawberry fields and who wasn't. But again, just hardworking people, that's for sure. Here's Tom Homan talking about how he really believes that Trump is doing the right thing for the American people. And Trump retruthed this, by the way. So this is pretty cool.
I really, truly believe President Trump is doing the right thing for American people. Every public safety threat we take off the street make this country safer. That is a career I chose. That's a career a lot of ICE agents chose. We're going to do this job. And that brings me to another point. the big, beautiful bill. We need Senate to get off their butts and pass this bill. More money means we can do more. We can arrest more public safety threats. We can arrest more national security threats. So Congress needs to pass that bill and give ICE and Border Patrol the tools and resources they need to get this job done.
Is he growing a beard? What the hell's going on with his face? I hope that's not a beard. Tom, you shouldn't grow a beard, buddy. You don't. Oops. You can do better without it, my friend. You can do better without it. Around 1 million illegal aliens have self-deported since Trump offered this up. Literally. 1 million illegals have self-deported. That's huge. Now, again, when you're talking about, 30 million probably is kind of the number that a lot of people are sort of settling on. No one said, like Trump doesn't say it. He keeps it a little lower because he knows people will give him a ration of shit. But for most of us that feel like we can be reasonably honest, even Tom Homan, 30 million's kind of close to what we assume. Dude, that's a 30th of just them. That's pretty impressive. Now, granted, some of these guys have probably been here for much longer than Biden was here, maybe. But still, that's a big step in the right direction. And people that want to do it the right way, good for them. You know, there's a chance you can actually become a citizen if you do it the right way. Now, here are the clowns in Los Angeles are now demanding the federal government give them money to repair the damage that the rioters that they haven't done anything about have caused. Now, they blame Trump for sending the cops in, but we ain't going to pay, and we'll talk about that in a sec.
I am demanding full accountability and reimbursement for the local costs incurred, including injuries to local officers and damages caused by the chaos unleashed when the Trump administration recklessly deployed the military and ICE agents into our communities. They are the ones who created this unrest, and they are the ones that need to foot the bill.
Now, the beautiful thing about Democrats is they never, ever, ever take credit for their failures. Never. Never, ever, 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 ever have I ever heard, like a typical Democrat, ever accept responsibility for what they've done wrong. Now, there's been a few of them that have that, can't remember his name, the black fellow on CNN. He's finally started coming around and acknowledging that his party hasn't done the greatest things. John Fetterman's another wonderful example. Probably some others that I'm failing to think about. But it's always someone else's fault. It's never, ever their policies, their responsibility, even though they run everything. Just a brilliant example of how crazy it is. Well, Secretary Sean Duffy says sanctuary cities won't get a red cent to repair infrastructure damaged by rioters. Period. Says the U.S. DOT will not fund rogue state actors who refuse to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. And to cities that stand by while rioters destroy transportation infrastructure, don't expect a red cent from DOT either. Follow the law or forfeit the funding. Boom. Mahmoud Khalil, he's requesting a transfer from Louisiana jail after a judge blocks his release. This dude's thinking he's going to be able to get out scot-free. You know, they brought him back. They did all this stuff. Yeah, he's still going to get sent out. He is an anti-Palestinian activist or an anti-Israeli activist. And he was here, I think, on some sort of a visa or whatever. Federal judge says he immediately release him on bail or else transfer him to New Jersey so he can be closer to his family. Again, still asking for demands. Bud, you're going back to wherever the hell you came from, Mahmoud. Sorry, buddy. So, yeah, no, I don't know if we'll see if we do any favors for him. I would love to see what judge, because this judge apparently that's handling this case is not this Judge Michael Farbiarz. There's a cool name. He ruled that Khalil could not be deported for that reason. He declined Friday to grant Khalil's release, pointing to a secondary rationale advanced by the government that he had omitted on his green card application about his work history and affiliations, which is a problem. You can keep someone out of the country if they've got affiliations with people they shouldn't. No judge can control that. That's not their place to control. So this they will lose for sure. In their filing, lawyers for Khalil said the government's move to keep him detained on those grounds was exceedingly rare and extremely unusual. They're keeping him in. Permanent residence been detained. What were they keeping him here? I forgot. They transfer him. Yeah. Attorneys for the Palestinian activists have asked the federal judge to immediately release on bail or transfer. I think if this dude gets out and gets free, he's going to disappear. So whatever it is, we are trying to keep him in jail, and we're using some sort of crazy reason to do it. And it is what it is, It is what it is. What is this? This is, New York City mayoral candidate Brad Lander. He was just arrested. This is the thing I was talking about accidentally earlier.
Let go when you show me the judicial warrant. Where is it?
Sir, where is the warrant?
I would like to see the warrant. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. Take him in. 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 Let's go. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have to. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
We go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe.
So what he is saying is not true. What happened is he was in an ICE facility in Lower Manhattan, and he allegedly obstructed ICE's operations by physically intervening in an arrest. He says you don't have the right to arrest a U.S. citizen. I don't know if the citizen was a citizen or not, or if someone with a green card, doesn't really matter. You definitely do not have a right to obstruct justice, ever. Don't give a shit who you are. You get arrested for obstruction of justice. And that's exactly what happened to this New York City mayoral candidate. Now, maybe it helps him in New York, but I don't think so, because I think New York is so tired of the crime and so tired of the immigration, it ain't going to roll like that. So, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Now, this will likely piss you off. Hopefully, Kash Patel is aware of this. Probably is. Hopefully, something can be done about this, or we can at least make use of this in a more powerful way. But this is when she was on Rachel Madcow, and oh man, it'll piss you off what she said. Check it out.
White House and say, well, the Russians probably did help them, to whatever extent we may not yet know. So we're not going to go there. We're going to do what they tell us. Imagine, Rachel, that you had one of the Democratic nominees for 2020 on your show. Mm-hmm. And that person said, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you. Now, according to the Mueller report, that is not conspiracy because it's done right out in the open. So if after this hypothetical Democratic candidate says this on your show, within hours, all of a sudden the IRS offices are bombarded with incredibly sophisticated cyber tools looking for Trump's tax returns, and then extracts them and then passes them to whatever the new WikiLeaks happens to be, and they start being unraveled and disclosed.
Do you remember how pissed off people got when Trump was talking about asking Russia to pull some data on her for the Uranium One and some of the other crazy stuff that happened? They freaked out. Here she is getting in bed with China. China apparently tried to use mail-in ballots to swing the 2020 election. Newly declassified documents by Kash Patel have been released and have revealed an intelligence in the 2020 alleging a Chinese plot to mass-produce fake U.S. driver's licenses to commit mail-in ballot fraud benefiting Joe Biden. The intelligence report was created in August 2020, just months before the presidential election. It details plans from the Chinese Communist Party to manufacture fake American driver's licenses and ship them into the United States so Chinese citizens could fraudulently use mail-in ballots to vote in the presidential election to help Joe Biden. Yeah, the proof is out there, my friends. This Chinese-linked cargo plane is, it did something weird. It was heading to, I want to say Luxembourg, and then while it was over Turkmenistan, it veered over to Iran, and while in Turkmenistan, it turned off its whatever they call the thing that lets everybody know, right? It's let everybody know where it's at. It turned that off, that beacon or whatever the hell they call it. And many are saying it made a landing in Iran, And of course, China's denying it. They're like, no, we didn't do this. This isn't true. This is a bunch of lies. Strong chance that China was probably bringing in something to help Iran. We don't know what. We could only speculate, but there's a strong chance that's happening. China's also having an issue on their zero mileage second-hand car practice. China's in a really bad place right now financially. A lot of people are trying to make it sound like they're doing great and all that. No, I would say no. And they continue to not do what is needed to fix the problem. They keep kind of doubling down on what they've been doing, which is through trade. Problem is people can cut back on trade. We could start making stuff here. Ultimately, China is going to go backwards when it comes to that. If they can get their own people to start buying more products, then maybe they can actually start to sell to their own people and then even maybe allow other products into their country and actually start to be more friendly in that regard. Right now, though, they're having a huge problem with their car market. They've been having to mark these cars down tremendously because no one's buying them. And then on top of that, now they're doing this new thing where they're actually taking brand new cars with close to 0 miles and turning them around and selling them as a second use or second owner. Like someone bought it and then immediately sold it back, and then now they're selling it as a used car even though it's never been driven or barely driven. That's a crazy thing that's happening, and China's trying to crack down on it because obviously it's costing them a crap ton of money. Ken Paxton, he has opened an investigation into 33 non-citizens for illegally voting in the 2024 election. We'll see where this goes, but a lot of this type of stuff keeps popping up, and so, yeah, that's awesome. Love to hear that. Judicial Watch also announced that the U.S. Department of Justice has filed a statement of interest in support of its federal lawsuit against Oregon's Secretary of State's over failures to clean up the state's voter rolls in accordance with federal law. U.S. District Court Judge Michael J. McShane has scheduled a hearing in the case for June 18th in Eugene. So I guess that's tomorrow. Very cool. Also, big news with Mike Lindell. I haven't had him on yet, but we'll see if that happens tomorrow or not. I know he's actually flying back. I texted him and said congrats. I found out about it. But a jury in Denver found MyPillow founder Mike Lindell. They found him liable for 3 of the 10 things they nailed him for. He is appealing this. But what did happen is MyPillow was completely exonerated. MyPillow is completely exonerated, so that was a huge, huge thing for him. That was one of the big things that he was very, very worried about was the possibility of that company being scrapped or closed or anything. Since he has been involved, well, since the elections have happened and since all this crazy stuff started happening, he's figuring it's cost him about $22 million through MyPillow sales. It's cost MyPillow $22 million. That's a lot of money. So obviously he's going to appeal this. Some of it was interesting. He did refer to an individual, where was it? I don't know if they have it in here or not. Yeah, traitor. He called this individual, Coomer, a traitor. I mean, you can call people stuff. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of weird. Like, you can call people a name. I don't know. It's hard to say where that really happens. But depending if it cost this guy anything or if he ended up in jail, like, what are the damages for Mike Lindell calling you a traitor? Obviously, Dominion was having issues, but I feel like this case was with Smartmatic, too, which is kind of weird. And that was one of the comments I heard him make, is it felt like it was a Dominion trial when I thought it was Smartmatic that was actually suing him. But whatever the case, it sounds like he mostly won, slightly lost, and he's going to appeal that slight loss part. Again, one of the greatest ways you can help him is to help MyPillow. MyPillow's got a whole bunch of American people that work there. It's an American company, and they make American products. They make beautiful, awesome products. They've got this free roll and go pillow. It's with God, all things are possible. This is going to be free with any purchase you make. Free. I think you just got to pay like $3 in shipping because I found out a weird way. But yeah, $3 in shipping. This is essentially what this will cost you. It's not a bad deal if you think about it. They've got the best sheets you can ever hope for. They've got the Giza sheet. That's that high thread count sheet. Super awesome sheet, $49.98, any size, any color. They've also got those percale bed sheets. They're doing a closeout sale on those, $29.88 or $98, sorry, $29.98, closing those things out as well. They've got all sorts of bitchin' towels. You've seriously got to try their towels, their bathrobes. Anything they make that's like made of cotton is amazing, but their towels are bar none some of the best. Their dish towels start as low as $9.99. I want to say these premium towels are roughly $30, $29.98 or something similar to that. Beach towels are 50% off. So again, some really, really cool products, really cool towels. You will love them. They've got that My Cross necklace for 50% off, and they've got two different variants of that. They've got the black one that he wears, black with the silver, and it's a sterling silver. But the outside of it's silver. They've also got one that's got like a white inside and sort of a black outside. They've got men and women's sizes. Again, 50% off. It's just a really nice crucifix if you want to get one for yourself. A beautiful one to get at that for sure. The Rev 7 is just awesome energy drink. If you haven't tried it, at least pick up your 3-pack while you're in here ordering. All you got to do is pay for shipping. So while you're in here ordering, you already got some shipping stuff going on. Yeah, just take advantage of that. Get your free roll and go. You're going to be set. These are delicious. You're going to get one of each flavor. I personally, these are my two favorites. I'm not a big green apple fan, but it tastes exactly like a green Jolly Rancher if you've ever had one of those. It's just not, it was my least favorite Jolly Rancher. That's the only reason. It tasted delicious, just not my favorite flavor. These two are incredible. The blue one, hands down, is my favorite. Lemonade's really good, but this blue citrus, oh, yummy. It's freaking yummy. Love it. Dog beds, more roll and go pillows. The best pillow you'll ever use. They've got those $17.98. I think that's, the standard one. And then they just get a hair more than that. I want to say the king size is, I don't know, 22 or something like that. Very good price, though. Also, if you want to help with Mike's legal woes, please donate. There's a great place to do that. And again, pet blankets. They've got blankets of all kinds. Those are also all on sale. Very good products. Again, clearance event, a whole bunch of stuff in there. They got slippers. They got pajamas, or panjamas, as my girlfriend would call them. And they've also got My Store. Use the OTF code there as well, and you will be amazed at how that works out for you. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. That's mypillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you've ever had. All right, so Trump is, we've got a lot of Iran stuff to talk about here. Trump, I guess Tulsi Gabbard kind of made some comments about the nuclear weapons, and she said that she doesn't believe that Iran has nuclear weapons, that back in 2003, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program. He suspended it in 2003. Trump's basically going, look, I don't care what she said. She's dismissing what her claims are. This is a big kind of black eye to her, frankly. And I would be really careful if I was her at this point. I know she doesn't want nuclear war. I know that's something that freaks her out. And I know she's really anti the bad intelligence, which likely is what this is. But if she continues to go against the president's wishes as well, she's going to be one of the first people we get rid of, I guess. So that'll have some fallout possibly. So I'd like to see Tulsi stick around. I like her a lot. But like Trump says, I don't care what she said. And it doesn't really matter. Donald Trump truthed this out. Somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Got any questions about that there, Tucky boy? And Tucker's gotten weird lately anyway. Since the Iran thing started, again, there's a lot of people that are very black and white on, you can't go to any more wars. And I don't want war. Trump doesn't want war. He's been very clear about that. But there are some bad people on this planet, and they do bad things if given the opportunity. We're trying to clean up the deep state, right? Well, big part of that deep state happens to be Iran's leadership. Big part of the deep state. China has some problems in there too. We can't exactly just go in and attack them. But this is part of the problem. So either A, we figure out a way to get Iran to not have nuclear weapons, or B, we keep Iran from having nuclear weapons. Again, I don't want to see us attack anybody. I don't want to see that happen. I'd kind of like to see Iran make this decision on their own, though. Would we trust them? No. Would they have to let us in there? Yes. Would we want to destroy the facility? Yes. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but we'll see. Mike Huckabee put this out. Donald Trump retruthed it, I guess, but this is pretty cool what Mike Huckabee is saying, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, Pennsylvania to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. The decision on your shoulders I would not want to be made by anyone else. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there is only one voice that matters, his voice. I am your appointed servant in this land and am available for you, but I do not try to get into your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours. Not since Truman in 1945. I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, ears, and voice, and to make sure our flag flies above our embassy. My job is to be the last one to leave. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve. Mike Huckabee. Good stuff, and his daughter's doing a fine job as well. Not sure. This is an interesting story, and there's probably a lot of truth to this. Israel and U.S. are exhausting their supplies of anti-ballistic missiles or ballistic missile interceptors. This is becoming an expensive little war for us. Also going to make it really tough for Ukraine to get any more of those types of weapons from us because, frankly, we're giving a bunch of these to Israel right now, and we could care less about Ukraine because Ukraine needs to stop fighting, and they are no longer going to be supported, especially as this war potentially escalates. We'll see, but these the sophisticated anti-missile missiles, like the THAAD missiles, those are apparently really hard to mass produce or borderline impossible. So they can make them as fast as they make them. I'd be curious how fast that is. I doubt they would ever report what those real numbers are. But they're not able to spit these things out like licorice or whatever. Like these things take time to build, and then they are used up in less than a minute, and hopefully did their job. So we've got a problem. Iran's got a lot of weapons, a lot of missiles, but again, supposedly Israel has blown up a bunch of the launchers. Again, they still have plenty, and they've still got some stronger weapons that they're now threatening to use against us. Trump refuses to sign the G7 statement on Iran. He wants a total end to nuclear enrichment. There is no, this deal they were trying to make was kind of stupid. The draft document was circulated that called for both sides to protect civilians and for tight monitoring of Iran's nuclear facilities. That was unacceptable to Trump. What this was the deep state's attempt to allow the forever wars to continue, to allow Iran to stop the fighting so they can rebuild back up and then start doing it all over again in, 3-4 years when Trump's not there. Trump's like, no. It's either they give up their nukes on their own, or we'll make sure they give up their nukes. There is no other option, and so he didn't even bother signing this. He walked out, and it ain't happening. Trump truth this. Publicity-seeking President Emmanuel Macron of France mistakenly said that I left the G7 summit in Canada to go back to D.C. to work on a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Wrong. He has no idea why I am now on my way to Washington, but it certainly has nothing to do with a ceasefire. Much bigger than that, whether purposefully or not, Emmanuel always gets it wrong. Stay tuned. And he also posted, Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame, and a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. And guess what? It's exactly what's happening. This is the freeways by leaving Tehran. They literally are evacuating in droves. Trump's trying to give them a chance to get the F out of Dodge. Why? That's the big question, right? Here's Trump talking to, I forget who it was. If it was, Caitlin Collins, the disgrace. But nonetheless, here's he talking to her. Check it out.
You just posted right before we took off that you're not leaving because of a ceasefire. Why are you? Can you elaborate?
We're looking at better than a ceasefire. We're not looking for a ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're looking for better than a ceasefire.
Can I ask you, because there's been some skepticism, is there any guarantee that if the U.S. did get involved militarily, that a U.S. bomb could destroy Iran's nuclear program and facilities?
It's not everything or anything in life, you know that. Look at you, right? There's no guarantee. But you're saying a guarantee on what?
Do you think if the U.S. got involved militarily, it would actually wipe out Iran's nuclear program, or where's your assessment of that?
I hope their program's going to be wiped out long before that. But they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
What do you have any reason to believe the Israelis are going to slow down, or are they going to hit the accelerator right now?
Well, we're going to see. You're going to find out over the next 2 days. You're going to find out.
Has the gang debate,
unnecessary.
What can you do in Washington that you wouldn't do in Canada?
Just be a little bit, I think, more well-versed. Not having to use telephones so much, because I don't believe in telephones. Because people like you listen to them. So being on the scene is much better. And we did everything I had to do on the G7. We had a good G7. We signed a deal with the European Union, phase one of a deal. But we signed a deal with the UK. And the UK is really great. We're very far down the line with a lot of deals. I mean, look, we're actually finished with every deal if you really think about it, because all I have to do is say, this is what you're going to pay.
Did
But
Secretary
it's nice to be nice.
Did Secretary Bessent stay behind as your representative?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Can I ask you where?
Who else has a question other than CNN
I love it when he shoots her down. It just brings great joy to my heart. Caitlyn sucks. Iran cries uncle. They want to end the Israeli attacks. They want to negotiate with Trump. They're trying to do a ceasefire. Again, they want the forever wars. They want to rebuild. They want a chance to rearm. They want the damage to stop on both sides. And right now, they have no ability to stop Israel from flying over them. Israel can fly over with absolute impunity, which means they're going to get annihilated. Period. It's not just rockets and stuff like that. They're going to blow up all sorts of specific facilities, and probably the nuke facility coming soon. POTUS said, I'd say Iran is not winning this war. Here's a pretty good little moment he also shared with us.
Have you heard any signals or seen any messages from intermediaries that Iran wishes to de-escalate the conflict?
Yeah.
What have you heard? What have you heard from the Iranians?
They'd like to talk, but they should have done that before. I had 60 days, and they had 60 days, and on the 61st day, I said, we don't have a deal. They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
Yeah, Iran's running out of time in a major way. Pentagon vows U.S. is maintaining defensive posture. It's very important that we kind of understand this. They're putting more stuff in the area to make sure, one, they can help, I think, protect Israel. I think that's part of what's going on. Two, if we need to enhance our abilities, we will. Three, I think also for intelligence gathering and things along those lines. So we are, I talked about it yesterday, there's a carrier strike group heading that way. I forget which one. And then we've also got, I got a whole bunch of bombers. The stealths and the B-52s are down at Diego Garcia, plus a bunch of, some F-15s and some other stuff probably. So we know that there is a lot that is happening right now to prepare for more. And we seem to be heading in that direction. The Israeli ambassador warns of surprises up our sleeves in the fight against Iran, in line with Trump's ominous message. So again, there's a very serious threat being shown. Oh, that's the television studio. Wow, that really just continued to burn, didn't it? And we were showing that earlier in the burning cycle. This seems much later in the day, and dang, that looks like it's been destroyed. Again, very sad. Lots of people dying. Don't like this at all. Very unhappy with it. And I, again, save Israel for last. Like, I still think there's a whole lot of weirdness that goes around this. But Iran is definitely part of the problem, and it seems that Israel is sort of helping with that component of this. I wish Iran wasn't so difficult to deal with right now. I certainly have many Iranian friends and wish them safety, and I wish their families safety right now, as this is obviously a bit of a scary time for many. I'm going to say this dude's name wrong. General Mousavi. I'll get that part right. There's no way I was going to get his first name. Abdul Rahim. Huh, probably close. Chief of Staff of Armed Forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran. He said today that the Iranian operations against Israel so far have been a deterrence or for deterrence, and the next phase of operations will be for punishing. I think might be the hint towards his larger payloads that they're capable of doing. This is one of the things that Israel has admitted is most of the payloads that they had brought were, I want to say, roughly 1 ton, which is pretty big. I think they've got bigger than that. or it's up to 1 ton that they can get, and they've been smaller than that. I forget which exactly it was, but whatever the case is, there is a significant uptick in explosive ability that they can add. Now, whether or not they've got nukes or anything like that, that'll be questionable. If they do have nuclear weapons that are able to be used, I would assume they'll use them. Now, again, maybe they get shot down in the process, but maybe that nuke still falls while it's armed. Maybe it gets damaged in the sky. I don't know, and I don't really know how those things handle that kind of stuff. I also don't think that nuclear weapons are allowed to be used on this planet. We'll see, right? Like, it's easy to say that, but it's one thing if that's actually how this continues to play out. Jordan's king is telling the European Parliament that Israel's expansion of its offensive to include Iran is a threat to people everywhere. So right now we've got Jordan and we've got Pakistan so far that are coming out kind of pissed off at Israel. These people represent a lot of the Arab world. We do not want the Arab world to get pissed at Israel and start attacking them. That could very well be part of what happens next as the world's armies surround Israel. Now, again, these prophecies I've said before, and I'll say again, upset some people maybe, but whatever. These prophecies were created by the same people that are trying to make sure they come true. Now, I know there's a lot of people that very, very much believe that these prophecies were inspired by divinity, and unfortunately, there seems to be a lot of evidence to suggest otherwise, but wherever you're at in this process, there are a lot of people that want to see this happen because they believe this would be the coming of the end times, that Armageddon is what's supposed to happen, and then Jesus will return. So I know there's a whole lot of people that are like rooting this on. Again, I don't believe that these prophecies are going to totally fulfill themselves, but dang sure they're trying to make them happen. And this whole thing with the Arabs getting pissed off at Israel could be that. I think that's a big part of why Trump went to Saudi Arabia and why he got Saudi Arabia on board, was to help keep the Arab world at bay for the time being. Like, just give us a chance to take care of this business, and then we'll be done. And then you guys will be cool. We have this covered, right? So, again, we'll see how it plays out. A lot of talk going on. Supreme Leader, the Ali Khamenei, is reportedly in poor mental state. Israel saying it's still a possible Israeli target. Trump speaks to that in a second here. But, yeah, he's apparently not doing well. I don't know if this is... it's from a Jerusalem news feed, so I don't per se believe it. I feel like this is propaganda, but maybe it's true. The dude is old. It's entirely possible, and he's not going to step down on his own. That's for sure. So whatever the case is, Israel still wants to target him. Trump has made it known that that's not on the table. In fact, I think this is the truth. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. The so-called supreme leader, probably because he thinks God's supreme leader. I don't know. We know exactly where the supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. J.D. Vance posted this, and I thought this was definitely worth the read. Again, our vice president liked the dude a lot, and I think he's trying to be much more helpful. He goes, look, I'm seeing this from the inside, and am admittedly biased towards our president and my friend, but there's a lot of crazy stuff on social media, so I wanted to address some things directly on the Iran issue. First, POTUS has been amazingly consistent over 10 years that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Over the last few months, he encouraged his foreign policy team to reach a deal with the Iranians to accomplish this goal. The president has made clear that Iran cannot have uranium enrichment, and he said repeatedly that this would happen one of two ways, the easy way or the other way. Second, I've seen a lot of confusion over the issue of civilian nuclear power and uranium enrichment. These are distinct issues. Iran could have civilian nuclear power without enrichment, but Iran rejected that. Meanwhile, they've enriched uranium far above the level necessary for any civilian purpose. They've been found in violation of their non-proliferation obligations by the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is hardly a right-wing organization. It's one thing to want civilian nuclear energy. It's another thing to demand sophisticated enrichment capacity. And it's still another to cling to enrichment while simultaneously violating basic non-proliferation obligations and enriching right to the point of weapons-grade uranium. I have yet to see a single good argument for why Iran needed to enrich uranium well above the threshold for civilian use. I have yet to see a single good argument for why Iran was justified in violating its non-proliferation obligations. I have yet to see a single good pushback against the IAEA's findings. Meanwhile, the president has shown remarkable restraint in keeping our military focused on protecting our troops and protecting our citizens. He may decide he needs to take further action to end Iranian enrichment. That decision ultimately belongs to the president. And of course, people are right to be worried about foreign entanglement after the last 25 years of idiotic foreign policy. But I believe the president has earned some trust on this issue and have seen this up close and personal. I can assure you that he is only interested in using the American military to accomplish the American people's goals. Whatever he does, that is his focus. So again, I'm not going to play Tulsi's thing again, but that's where he's like, I don't care what Tulsi said. Donald Trump, this was one of his most recent truths. Unconditional surrender, period, for Iran. Period. Period, which they're not going to agree to. Nope. They want a ceasefire, but they don't want to surrender. I don't even know if they declared a war yet, frankly. Here's Fetterman talking. Now, I know he's a little difficult to listen to a degree because he did have a stroke, and he's still got some damage that was done by that. The guy's heart, I think, is in the right place. He is easily my favorite Democrat. He's up there with Manchin, but I actually kind of like Fetterman a little more than Manchin because Fetterman's really pretty blatant about the fact that, yeah, I know they all hate me. Yeah, whatever. I don't understand why this is their stance. Manchin just, I don't know. It always bothered him that he was kind of hated by his party, but he did the right thing, so I'm always going to give that guy points, always. I know a lot of people hated him for things he did 5 years ago, whatever. While Biden was in office, Manchin saved our ass at least 3 times. I want to say 5, but a bunch of times. Saved us with his vote. His one vote kept the majority from winning or kept the tie from happening. His one vote. So again, we've got people that are trying to do the hard thing, and stepping away from the Democrat Party, I don't know if you've paid any attention, is extraordinarily difficult. They freaking hate your ass when you do that. And they threaten you, possibly kill you. We just saw the lady in, Minnesota? Right? Got shot by that dude. They finally caught, thank God. Shot 2 other people too. Killed 2 and shot the others like 8 times and 9 times, and they somehow lived. Talk about a weird blessing from God. Got shot 9 times and survive? Dang. Needless to say, here's John Fetterman talking on Fox News.
In their beds, and they didn't take down the whole building. They actually targeted where they lay in bed, and now they eliminated the military ones and the nuclear ones. That's magnificent, and the precision which they've done that, and I don't know why they would have left the leader out.
What comes after that if that reality were to take place, Senator?
Well, I think the reality is that you have a nation that just is in a position where they have to be held accountable for what they've done. They're the ones that built and created the proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah and put our whole region in this kinds of chaos. And now they clearly have nuclear ambitions. And now I think it's entirely, I'm not sure if I might have been the only one, constantly calling them to just take this facility out and to use the B-2 and those gigantic bunker buster ones and partner up with Israel, what they've done.
Well, all your Democratic colleagues are not on board with you. And Bernie Sanders is pushing for resolution right now. He writes this, he says, Netanyahu's reckless and illegal attacks violate international law and risk igniting a regional war. Congress must make it clear that the United States will not be dragged into Netanyahu's war of choice. And we have talked, we can put the quote on screen here. We've talked about the B-2 bombers. That does not mean boots on the ground. But just that line about reckless and illegal attacks. What do you think about that? And do you consider yourself far from the Democratic norm in your party?
Well, I mean, I'm going to vote that down. I've got in a habit of voting some of his kinds of votes down. Of course, I'm always going to stand with Israel through this. Now, if I'm an outlier in Democratic, I guess perhaps I'm unapologetically very pro-Israel. And now here, it's what's true is that Iran has nuclear ambitions, 100%. And now we can't ever allow them to acquire a bomb. And now what is also true is that they have created the proxies. They have Hamas and Hezbollah, so now let's hold them accountable for this. And again, we absolutely magnificent what Israel has done since Saturday when this launched as well. Done with such precision and lethality, and we want to support that. Now, I think we absolutely got to follow them into this and take out the nuclear facilities, because it might not even a true path for real peace in the region. Now, because now taking out Iran at this point, that's necessary if you ever have a chance to have any real peace in the Middle East.
When you consider how far the U.S. should be aligned militarily with Israel in this operation, the Israelis might be able to do it on their own. But if they can't, how far and how close should the U.S. go and be with them?
Well, I think it's a great start with the 30,000-pound bunker busters, and I just keep dropping them until you can actually confirm what exactly happened to them. We have the tools, and Israel and the world has the need to finally take this out, and we can't ever have Iran acquire a nuclear weapon. And now what Israel has already done, it's demonstrated that Iran really lacks any kinds of real military capabilities. And now we absolutely have to finish it out and now figure out where this goes. No, after this, possibly there could be some unintended consequences. But for me, what's most important to stop Iran and their nuclear weapons, but also now after Iran has been broken and humiliated on the world stage after what Israel has done, now we have to just, again, finish it out. And I think America absolutely has to have their back through this.
Okay, by extension, I just want to play this piece of video from over the weekend. There were these No Kings rallies all over the country, thousands of them. And this was at the event in Philadelphia when your name was mentioned. Watch here.
Now, this is not a rally for one party. We've got Democrats here today. We've got Republicans and independents here today. We're looking to the leaders who will fight for us, because even today there are folks among the Democratic Party who think we should roll over and play dead. Anyone seen John Fetterman here today?
So, sir, on the same day on Saturday, you sent this out on X. You said the parade is comprised, the U.S. Army parade in Washington. It's comprised of our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers, the very best of us, regardless of your politics. It's appropriate to celebrate the 250 years of sacrifice, dedication, and service. What did you think of the boos in Philadelphia?
Well, I think two things can be true. I think absolutely my unapologetically supportive of Israel and a secure border and refuse to vote to shut the government down. I have absolutely, I've taken a hit with from the base. I'm not sure why Democrats would boo a fellow Democrat, but that's their prerogative now. And now with that military parade, again, there was no goose stepping. Now, first of all, let's say stop ever comparing anything to the Nazis and those kinds of things. That's crazy. And now remember, that's our soldiers. That's, this is not an occupying force. This is a 250, anniversary for the Army. Why? I'm not sure why it's outrageous to have a parade to celebrate the Army. Now, look at that video that's on the screen now. That's not, like some kind of anything extreme. It's celebrating, a quarter of a millennia about the American Army. It's like, I don't understand why that's controversial.
One last question, if I could. The president's trying to get ICE to step up deportations, and he specifically named blue-leaning Democratic cities, of which Philadelphia and Pittsburgh were not named, but maybe they could be. Would you support the deportation on behalf of ICE and illegals who live in cities that you represent?
Well, let's talk about what I support. I absolutely support it, and I was the leading co-sponsor of the Lakin bill. So absolutely target the criminals, that are here illegally and deport them. I voted for that. I think that's what we should. No one here should be here illegally if they have a criminal record or engaging in criminal behavior. Actually deport them, And now I think they've also realized, don't target actually otherwise hardworking migrants, whether now working in agriculture or working at the hotel industry and there. Two things must be true. Absolutely round up all of the criminals and deport them, but not target otherwise law-following migrants that are a very critical part of our immigration. I mean, both those two must be true, and because I think the vast majorities, the Americans want that.
Senator, thank you for your time. John Fetterman.
Yeah, I mean, again, long and a little hard to hear, but definitely true nonetheless. Here is President Trump talking with, this is Keir Starmer. I think they made a deal, and I don't know if he's talking about Iran here or what's going on, but let's check this out here.
We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is, sorry about that. This is it. A very important document. A little windy out here. Give me that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union, and it's a fair deal for both. Going to produce a lot of jobs, a lot of income, and we have many other ones coming. But you see the level of enthusiasm is very good. But the relationship that we have is fantastic. So I just want to congratulate you.
Well, Donald, thank you very much. This now implements on car tariffs and aerospace our really important agreement. And so this is a very good day for both of our countries, a real sign of strength. So thank you again, Donald. A really important day for both of us.
Great people, great people.
Oh, cool. I can now order a Rolls Royce and a Bentley. Folks, I can't afford one of those, not even close, but it's a good thought. It'd be fun to have. I don't know, actually. It would be fun to have one, but, to be so stupid rich that you could afford one of those, but then I'd figure I'd probably drive my Lambo more often than not. I do think it's hysterically funny how he drops it. That was pretty funny, and then they're like, really important documents. Let me see if I can get this. Yeah. So when Donald Trump puts them in there, you see how this corner is over the edge? Okay? He's holding it, then he shuts the book, folding that edge. I just think it's funny because this is supposed to be a really important document. He just folds it right on that and creates a crease on that very important document. Whatever the case is. The Senate version of the big, beautiful bill is set with a showdown over the House. Big times over the taxes, Medicaid, and SALT. There's a whole bunch of crap in here. Really, ultimately, just pissed me off about the senators. I want to say, at first I was like, I dislike every single senator, every single one of them, 100%. And then I'm like, well, I don't know, Fetterman's kind of okay. Manchin, I'm going to go ahead and throw, he's okay. But again, he's probably not going to agree with me on any of the, like his voting for the taxes and stuff probably won't agree. And then I was like, Marsha Blackburn, I guess, is okay too. But there's 97 of them that suck balls. Hardcore. They want to make the 2017 tax cuts permanent, but not quite as good as they were going to be. They wanted to shave it back a little. Notably, the tax credit would rise to $2,200 per child, short of the $2,500 that House wanted to give you. New deduction for workers with caps. So the tips deduction. This is a good one, right? They've been telling us no tax on tips. No tax on tips. Well, kind of. Up to $25,000 of your tips won't be taxed. The rest of it will. Which is helpful. Again, that's $25,000 write-off. I mean, that's not a bad deal, but still. Overtime pay deductible up to $12,500. That's, I know a lot of people that probably make far more than that in overtime, so that was another one of those wah, wah, wah. And auto loan interest deductible up to $10,000. I don't remember hearing anything about that to begin with. So cool. Obviously, Medicaid, they're really pissed off about that. We've got people like Howley that are like, this is going to shut down hospitals in my district. Shut the fuck up, Howley. Seriously, bro, I dislike you so much right now. Who cares? We need to get rid of waste. You're not doing your job. Suck it up and figure out how to manage your fucking state, you piece of shit. I'm fucking tired of all these guys. Oh, I see, I told you. Got me fired up. Fuckers. Both chambers requiring certain Medicaid recipients to meet work requirements. Cool. That's good. They're talking 80 hours a month of community service. Again, 20 hours a week is all you got to pull off, or you could do a really busy couple weeks and then take 2 off. Green energy credit rollback. They want the credits in there for the green energy. Again, this is the same assholes that are there. I can't stand these fucks. I cannot. Congress is so fucking broken right now. We got like a few people in the House that are okay. The entire fucking Senate's a piece of shit. Fuck! I feel better. I had to say it. Had to. Along with my fellow SALT caucus members are actively engaging. So the SALT thing, they wanted to go up to $40,000, right? No. Senators are pushing it down to 10, where it was. Fucking senators suck. You all suck. I am literally going to push for every single person that tries to get you guys out of office on the Republican Party specifically. I am going to help the people primarying your punk ass. You fuckers will never win another election. I should drink more. I feel like I was less angry when I drank. Fuckers. God, I'm pissed at them. New camera. All right, gold. Global financial system lie detector. Gold's kind of a funny thing. Ever since they took us off the gold standard, by the way, the value of our dollar has continued to go down. I feel like there was a graph in here I wanted to, yeah, this was the one. COMEX gold deliveries. They're since 2020, big spike, and then through the Biden years went down, and then now big spike. Why? Because the world's changing, because Trump's back in office, because the deep state is getting shafted. Yeah, this was the other one too. World debt in trillions. It's at a record high. The entire world's debt is over $300 trillion. Now, granted, we make up a giant chunk of that. Over $300 trillion in the world of debt. Central banking system, the debt-based system. I'm telling you, folks, if you're still in their system, you're blowing it. Just over 4 weeks later, with the S&P officially re-entering bull market territory as last week and breaching the 20% threshold, the JPM trading desk is officially calling time again, as it back in March and this morning. JPM's Andrew Taylor warned that given the rapid shift in geopolitics and looming deadlines for the expiration of the trade deals with Trump to set levels this week or next, it seems likely that markets are set for a near-term pullback. As a result, JPM's market intel desk is shifting its view to tactically cautious, with a pullback risk increasing following an assumed spike in volatility across multiple asset classes and positioning becoming increasingly stretched. Their system is breaking, and we're not going to save it. That was never the plan. Dow Jones is down a little bit. Gold's down a teeny bit, still up over 3,400. Again, it was down at 3,350 for a while, and it's still above that. Oil is still going up. Still going up. It's at almost 75 right now. Again, it was at 52, 3 weeks ago? So that's been going up a bunch. Just get out of their system, folks. If you're still in their system, get out. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, I do not believe it's a good idea to stay in the stock market and dollars. You're doing two negatives right there. The value of the dollar is losing every day. Maybe not as bad as it was when Biden was in office, but it's still losing value every day. And the stocks are about to get crushed. Whatever happens in Israel within the next 2 days probably, and what happens with China and what happens with some of these other locations is going to affect things. If you're in the 401k market, if you're in the IRA market, look, I got a good group of people that can help you out of that situation into a precious metals IRA. You can do it tax-free and penalty-free. Up to 10% of the face value you can get in free silver. Up to 10% of what you transfer over, you can get in free silver. That's huge. Silver is so undervalued right now. It's literally, the value is expected to double, triple, maybe even more. And I'm trying to keep it on the conservative side. I've heard some crazy numbers too. And likely that's probably closer to reality. Gold right now is about 100 times more valuable than silver. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be anywhere near that. A lot of that's because of the paper contracts. This free silver deal, just in and of itself, is awesome. If you can't afford much and you have a few bucks, I would reach out, same 4 data points, and buy some silver. Silver is a very important thing to get right now. You're going to get that free silver like I told you. You're going to get this free Trump book. You're going to get that free half-ounce coin for Ronald Reagan, if you qualify, of course. And you're going to get your kit, your gold and silver kit. You're going to learn how you can protect your wealth and get out of this stupid system. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Let my good friends at Goldco help you out, save you, protect your wealth so you can actually have it on the other side. And not to mention, the people that got out a year ago or more, gold's doubled in value. Doubled in value. Silver too. They are excellent, and they're continuing to move in that direction. There's still a lot of growth. It's not too late. Get out of their system while you can, before they get out of you. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. It's hard not to say it the way I usually say it. All right, couple weird things. Oil tankers crashed into each other. This is apparently one of the dark fleets that Russia likely is using, so it didn't have its beacon on, if you will. And so because of that, It probably wasn't visible. Now, radar, these things have radar. Someone should have saw it, but whatever the case was, something ran into this thing. Another ship ran into this, and there's a major fire. I think there's supposedly 3 ships on fire in this area right now. This is the Mediterranean. I think that's where it is. This ship's not doing well. Not at all. So yeah, this is the Adeline. It's Dark Fleet for Russia. And again, these are, is this the Mediterranean? Where the hell are these? Oh, Strait of Hormuz, basically, which I think is leading into the Mediterranean. Whatever. Or the Red Sea. And my geography not so good. But yeah, so there we go. That ain't the Mediterranean, is it? That's the Red Sea. Okay, whatever. Still, good enough. That'll work. Yeah, that's Mediterranean up there, isn't it? No, that's Black Sea, and the other one, where's the Mediterranean? Whatever. I don't know where the fuck it is. I should look it up. It'd be more fun. Oh, that's Red Sea over there. It's the Strait of Hormuz. And then, yeah, that's the Mediterranean up there, I think, huh? The Suez Canal. Okay, there you go. I don't know what that sea is called, but that's the Red Sea over there. Whatever. Again, I went to American school. Geography was not my strong point. I get some people that give me shit about it. There's someone in Australia that gave me a ration of shit for that. He's like, yeah, I at least know my geography. It's like, all right, whatever. Thanks for the comment, I guess. Largest Russian strikes in months hit Ukrainian capital, killing 15 and wounding over 100. They came in hard. I think a lot of this is because Russia knows right now that Ukraine's pretty much got no defense mechanisms left. And I think Russia's just going to absolutely just annihilate Ukraine. Ukraine should have gotten out while they could. Zelensky should have made the deal while he could. And Russia's just going to actually pummel them. Again, I want the wars to stop as much as anybody, but at the same time, Zelensky represents like the dickhead group out there and just absolutely sucks at trying to be good to his country. I mean, because of the war, he hasn't allowed an election. Nobody really likes what he's doing. He's not helping his country. His country's getting annihilated, and he's politically he's diplomatically not helping himself at all. He's had multiple opportunities to work on a ceasefire and has refused. So Russia's kicking their ass, and this is sad. And I don't think we should get in there and get more involved because Russia's kicking their ass. No, Zelensky should sign the agreement, lose the little bit of land that they lost already before they lose more. That's what they should do. Again, I feel bad for all the lives lost on both sides. Unquestionably, many people, over 1 million, have died on both sides during this war. I think they're averaging 1,000 a week, which is pretty damn crazy. So probably not 1 million overall, 3 years. 50,000 a year. I don't know, whatever. Still, hundreds of thousands of people are dying. Not cool at all. Russian military strikes Ukraine's defense industry. Yeah, they hit some targets pretty hard. This is a little bit of video showing 4 blow-ups in the background, but yeah, we've seen enough of that kind of crap here lately. Kraft Heinz has eliminated artificial colors amid Kennedy Health Department push, and so that is good news, moving in that direction. And then finally, other than apology, I feel bad kind of that I said fuck so many times, but especially screaming it. But man, the senators are pissing me off so bad. So whatever, it pisses people off. Oh well. Apple wins appeal to overturn $300 million U.S. patent verdict. This is the second time this company's gotten shafted. This is Optus Wireless Technology. They've had 2 different lawsuits that apparently have gotten kicked back by the appellate court. I am actually more convinced that Apple is behind this with their money, and essentially they probably are court shopping and finding the courts that will go ahead and push this back. Apple, I think, has just taken advantage of so many situations and their power. Apple kind of strikes me as like China, frankly. They just do whatever the hell they want. They don't care what the rules are, and they'll just, they're one of the richest companies in the world. They have more cash on hand than like 95% of the countries on the planet. Like, it's insane how much money Apple has. So I don't trust them, but whatever. All said, guys, a lot's happening, and hopefully the senators don't continue to piss me off, but I don't know, I might need to smoke a J or something here and calm down. But whatever the case is, I don't know, it's helping. I like it. I feel like a little better in the head, and I definitely feel healthier, so I'm gonna keep being healthy right now. I'm enjoying it. It's actually fun. All said, again, a lot of changes happening. I'm expecting escalations in the war in some way, shape, or form. Israel's got some trick up their sleeve. Likely they're going to hit that nuclear facility. They're likely expecting that, but they're expecting something that Israel is not going to do. They're expecting a conventional attack. I think Israel's got something else in mind, maybe something more similar to like Stuxnet or something along those lines, something that they've probably already put in place. Because, there's only so many companies in the world that make those centrifuges. There's only so many of those in the world. Wouldn't have been too hard to, I don't know, maybe put something in one of those, maybe even a small nuke, if they have them, inside of one of those machines, and then blow that up while it's inside the mountain. Could happen. We'll see. Something's going to happen. Israel's probably not going to be able to stop it. This might be the final thing, because once they have no nuclear abilities, Trump will be like, all right, let's talk ceasefire now. Get ready, prepare, understand we've got some more crazy coming. Again, I'm not supporting wars per se, and I'm hoping we are able to stay out of it, much like Trump said. I don't want to get involved, and I'm hoping it's already taken care of before we need to. Trump is still saying, look, we're the backstop. If we have to, we will. John Fetterman's like, look, use the bunker busters. He said it a little harder, but yeah. We'll see. Prayers, folks. That's what we need right now. Stay positive. Keep thinking positive. We understand the world's changing. We are getting rid of evil from this planet. It is happening, and we're seeing the evidence of it. Don't let some of these creators out there that are preaching fear, don't let them so much listen. See, here's the thing. If any of you that have been following my Law of One stuff, you understand when the service to self side tries to tries to get you to listen to them, it's usually going to be stuff that's more fear-based, stuff that's more lack-based, stuff that's more you're not good enough-based, stuff that's more the end of the world's nigh. Whenever you get information from the service to others side, when you get real information that's coming from like source and spirit, it's always of hope. It's always of change and happening and positives, and it's always moving in the right direction. We have movement happening. We've got a lot of people working on this. We are far more powerful than most people realize. Get your thoughts in order. Get your thoughts in line, and you will be part of the solution. Continue to watch fear porn. You will be part of the problem, literally. There's no way to watch something and not have it affect you, and you not affecting it. There's no way. So if you continue to watch the fear porn, you are part of the problem. Stop. Stop. It's time for us to think positively. It's time for us to move in a positive direction. It's time for us to realize we are winning. Know that. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.